Email marketing has changed more in the last year than it has in the last 10. Apple's privacy updates made open rates even more unreliable. And not only that, but Gmail and Yahoo's 0.1% spam caps made deliverability harder than ever. The era of manually sending email blasts is over. The future belongs to automated retention systems, or as I like to call them, retention engines. And these changes aren't slowing down. In fact, they're accelerating. So where's the good news? The good news is this new era of retention marketing can actually work in your favor for your brand if you know how to capitalize on it. So today I'm going to be sharing 5 strategies with you guys that are working incredibly well in 2026 that you need to implement today for your brand. By the way, if you're new to the channel, my name is Mace Murray, founder of EXM Global Strategies, and we've generated hundreds of thousands of dollars for 6- and 7-figure e-com brands. But without wasting any more time, let's get to the video. So strategy number 1 is the single fastest way that you can put money back in your pocket this week. I call it the profile bloat cleanse. Right now, most brands are paying what I call an ignorance tax to Klaviyo. See, the thing is when you first set up your store, the default Shopify and Klaviyo integration is designed to hoard data. It pulls in every single guest checkout, every random newsletter sign up from 3 years ago, and it even pulls users who have already unsubscribed. I recently audited a 7-figure brand that was incredibly proud of their 80,000 profile list. But when I took a closer look into their account, I saw that 25,000 of those people were unengaged. They were inactive. These were people that hadn't opened an email since like 2022. So this brand was paying for 25,000 people that literally could not or would not make a purchase from their brand. So essentially that brand was just lighting $500 a month on fire because they're hosting dead data. And the even bigger problem than just wasting money is in 2026, this isn't just a waste of money, but it's a suicide mission for your deliverability, which is way more important. Because the thing is with the new Gmail and Yahoo AI filters, if 30% of your list is dead weight and they never open your emails, then those AI filters are gonna flag your entire domain as irrelevant. And that's how your best campaigns end up in the promotions tab, or worse, the spam folder. So to fix this, we implement the deliverability first protocol. Here is exactly what you wanna do. Go into Klaviyo and create a segment for any profile that hasn't opened or clicked your email in the last 120 days. Then you want to suppress them immediately. Don't delete them because you can still have their data and not pay for it, but suppress them so you're not paying to have that data. That 7-figure brand with that 80,000 profile list, we slashed their monthly bill by over $600 instantly. But more importantly, their open rates went from around the 20% mark to the 45 to 50% mark. And that's because we cleared the profile bloat, which increased deliverability, which then told the inbox providers that people actually wanted our emails. So now that you cleared all the dead weight, all the profile bloat, the next part is you want to make sure that your emails you send are actually getting read, which brings us to strategy number 2. And this is just your plain text human connection emails. In 2026, the biggest problems that I see brands make is spending months on these fancy HTML templates. And don't get me wrong, these emails are beautiful, but they also scream, I am an advertisement. They scream, give me your money. These templates are the fastest way to get your email shoved into the promotions tab, or ignored completely, because people crave a human connection. Your customers want something personal. And so this is when we shift to that founder first copy style. We use low design or plain text emails that look like they were sent directly from your iPhone. Now, does that mean we stop sending content altogether? Absolutely not. I still send deep dive content and value-driven emails, but it depends entirely on your brand's deliverability. For us, if we start working with a client and we see that their sender reputation is in a gutter, we go 100% plain text to warm up the inbox provider. We want to prove that we're not a robot. And once their deliverability is healthy, then we can layer that high-value content back into the emails. But we still want to keep that same founder brand owner voice, like we're speaking to the customer. I had a client recently who was terrified to move away from their fancy templates. They thought that these plain text emails looked unprofessional. But after just 3 weeks of sending low design personal updates from the founder, their click-through rates doubled. This is because the email didn't feel like a pitch. It felt like it was a letter from a friend. This bypasses the mental spam filters that your customers had built up over the past however many years. All because you're treating your list like actual people and not a spreadsheet. And by the way, if you're still sitting here thinking your fancy templates are the move, you're leaving about 50% of your engagement on the table. But the thing is, connection alone isn't enough. You need a system that works while you sleep, which leads us to strategy number 3. Now, having a clean list and a personal touch is a great start. But if you're only sending emails when you feel like it, or once a week because you feel like you should, then you're missing the whole point. In 2026, one of the biggest mistakes that I see 6- and 7-figure e-com brands make is that they treat email and SMS marketing like a chore. I recently talked to a brand owner who was doing about $150,000 a month, and they were totally burnt out. He was stressing every single week, coming up with new ideas just to keep his sales up. And when I looked in his Klaviyo, I saw that his automated flows were only making about 5% of his total revenue. He was essentially running a 7-figure store all by hand. And by doing this, he was leaving more than half of the potential sales on the table just because he didn't have a system. You need to stop obsessing over your manual blast, your weekly campaigns, and you really need to start putting 90% of your effort into the 4 main flows: your welcome series, your abandoned cart or abandoned checkout, your win back flow, and your post-purchase flow. Right now, these 4 setups really should be accounting for at least 25 to 35% of all of your business's revenue. And the best part is they do that while only making up about 2% of all of the emails that you actually send. You're doing way less work for the most profitable part of your business. One of my clients had an abandoned cart flow that was okay, but it wasn't great. We went in, changed the words to make it sound like it was a real person, and we added a simple check-in from the founder 24 hours later. That one change turned an okay flow into a $15,000 a month revenue stream. When you build a proper engine, email and SMS marketing stops being a chore that you feel like you have to do. It becomes a part of your business that just prints money while you sleep. But I know that for many people, looking at these settings, looking at these flows, it feels like a total headache. Most brand owners are trapped in what I call a DIY nightmare. They're juggling 10 different apps, trying to figure out why their Klaviyo bill keeps going up, and constantly worrying that their emails are just going in the spam. You started your brand to build something great, not to spend 40 hours a week staring at technical settings and flow logic. And that is exactly why we offer a free retention audit. My team and I will do a deep dive into your account. We'll audit your list, find that profile bloat that's costing you hundreds or thousands of dollars, and we'll show you the exact dollar amount in revenue that you're leaving on the table every single month. We'll show you exactly how much more you could be making if you had a professional engine built for you. So if you're at all interested, click the link below, book a free call with me and my team. And if you're not ready for that yet, no worries at all. Just keep watching, because these next 2 strategies are honestly the most important ones if you want your brand to survive the rest of 2026. So strategy number 4. Behavioral segmentation. One of the quickest ways to kill your brand in 2026 is with a strategy that I really like to call spray and pray marketing. This is when you send the exact same 10% discount to every single person on your list. Let's just take a second to think about why that would be a horrible move. For one, you're sending a discount to your VIP customers who are going to pay full price anyways. So you're literally paying to lose your own profit. And on the other side, you're sending that same discount, that same email, to people who haven't interacted with your brand in months, which just tells Gmail and Yahoo that you're a scammer. So you're essentially killing your domain just to give away money that you really don't have to give away. So the solution is behavioral segmentation. Instead of one big list, you need to split your main audience into 2 segments: your customers that are really engaged and your customers that are really not. Your really engaged customers are people who have either clicked on your email or they've bought from you in the last 30 days. These people love you, they love your brand, they love what it means, they love your product, so you can send them more frequent content and early access to drops without needing to slash your prices. Now, it's important that you reward them every once in a while for being VIP customers, because they'll really appreciate it, they'll buy from you more, yada yada yada. But for the most part, this is how you get away from just sending money for no reason. As for your not so engaged customers, they don't need your daily updates. They need a specific reason to come back to buy. That same exact client who was afraid to get away from the fancy emails was also afraid to stop sending blasts to the entire list. They thought that because of them not sending to the whole list, their sales would drop. After a lot of discussion, we finally encouraged them to stop sending their high frequency content to just everybody and only send it to that really engaged segment. So again, what was the result? Their total sales stayed exactly the same, but they saw a pretty nice increase in their profit margins because they stopped giving money or discounts to people who didn't need them. In addition to that, their spam complaint rate dropped to practically 0. And this is simply because they stopped bothering people who were not interested in their stuff. In 2026, it's not about how many people you email or how many people you have on your list, but it's about when you send the email, if it's the right message, and if it's to the right person. That's why strategy number 4 is so important to incorporate for your brand. But for all 4 of the strategies that we just went over, if you don't do strategy 5, none of them matter. Now, strategy 5 is probably the most boring strategy, but like I said, it's also the most important. All it is just getting your technical setup done correctly. And the reason that this is so important is because if you don't have this stuff set up, then you're gonna get blocked completely. And there's no point in doing anything else in retention marketing. A lot of brand owners that I talk to get really stressed out about the new rules of Gmail and Yahoo. And even more brand owners I talk to don't even know that this exists. So for the people who are aware but don't really know how to do it, they kind of just cross their fingers in hopes that their emails land in the inbox. And for the people that are completely unaware of the technical requirements, it's only really a matter of time before their brand crashes and burns. Because the problem is if you don't have your foundation set up, eventually you're gonna hit a wall. I remember a brand that came to us right after a big holiday sale. They had spent a ton of money on their ads, their creative, they spent weeks on their creative, but the sale was a total failure. It turns out that Google blocked almost every single email that they sent out because they didn't have their DMARC policy set up. They lost tens of thousands of dollars in one weekend just because they didn't have a single setting set up in their domain, which really sucks. In 2026, you have to have 3 specific settings dialed in: your SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. And you don't need to know the technical definitions of them. You just need to know that they act as a digital ID. Basically, they prove to Google and Yahoo that you're a real business and you're not some scammer. When you have these settings set up and you keep your spam complaint low, that is how you end up in the inbox. While your competitors are stuck in the spam folder because they skipped these steps, your emails will be landing right at the top of the inbox where they belong. So if you're ready to stop treating your retention marketing like a chore and you want to turn it into a system that actually grows your brand, you know what to do. Click the link below to book a call with me and my team. We'll go through and get a strategy set up that's custom for your brand. And then we'll show you how you're leaving money on the table. We'll also show you how we can take all that technical stuff off your shoulders. But if you're not quite ready for a call yet, but you want to see exactly how this whole system looks on paper, go ahead and watch my video on the Lifecycle Revenue Blueprint right here. It'll show you the full map of how we build retention engines for our clients. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.